Well, hello everybody, happy Tuesday, and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. My microphone is way down here, and that's what happens when you stream and you get all set up and you forget the one interesting component, the one most important component that you need, a microphone so people can hear you. Let's try that one more time. Welcome to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, the guy that forgets the microphone from time to time. Oh my goodness, it is Taco Tuesday and it is a great day outside. It's a beautiful day to stay inside or maybe just be in your backyard or whatever little space you have. And it's gonna be fun. Let's look at the schedule. Everybody's saying hi and hello and laughing. It's okay, you can laugh at what just happened. Things like that happen. So here on Behance Live, we've had some awesome content running all day, illustrating and Photoshop and designing and more Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. You just got done watching the Adobe XD workflow and pro tips with Elise Todd. And now we are right here to the XD Daily Creative Challenge. Stay tuned after this for the sketch party with Kathleen Martin. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you don't know what the Daily Creative Challenge is, it's a way for you to sharpen your UI and UX skills using Adobe XD in just 9 challenges. And we are actually on challenge number 5, I think, 5 or so. And what's going to happen is each day you're going to see the challenge unlock here. The URL is behance.net/challenge/XD. And today we're going to be working on a little friendly workout experience, challenging experience, and we're going to try to give the user some feedback with some overlays, maybe some anchor links, maybe some pop-ups, some different things we're going to do. You can get your starting file right there. You're going to join the community chat, not just this live chat that's right over here on my screen, but you're also going to join the Discord server. The Adobe XD Discord has over 35,000 creatives. This is where you're going to put your work. This is where we're going to be reviewing work from the challenges. After that, you're going to watch the daily show, which you're doing right now. You're going to join me and Sam Peterson, who's moderating, and Tia and Francisco and Zoe and Hadil. You're going to join Vahid and Kathleen. You're going to join all of us. Andrea says hola. Michael says hey. Jennifer says hello all, which she probably meant hello. I don't know. Maybe Henlo is a thing and I just don't know. Okay, cool. So you're going to join us here and then you're going to share your work either on the Discord server and or on Behance using the hashtag XDDailyLive. That will put all of your stuff right there so we can search and find it, and all of that is going to be lots of fun, and all of this is done with a microphone, not without a microphone. Let's jump over to our starting file in Adobe XD. All right. We are actually on challenge number 6. Pardon me. It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, obviously. Lots of taco emojis happening in the live chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should jump over right now while it's still live over on Behance. Somebody will post the link up there in the description for sure. Okay, so we are on challenge 6. What are we doing? We're gonna be designing a challenge a friend experience for an at-home group exercise app. And we're gonna allow users to track progress, so a little bit of animation there. We're gonna receive feedback using visual indicators, like maybe some hovers that have some statefulness, like component states to hover and let people know what they're doing. Again, we're gonna be doing all of this in a mobile experience, but you could do it. So we're gonna be cheating a little bit, but so we have some inspirations down here, as well as a bunch of links to resources and things you might want to do. Your starting file might look similar to this, a little bit different because I've added some assets that I plan on using. Henlo, Sam Peterson says, is definitely a thing. Well, now I know. Henlo to all of you. This is exciting. Okay, cool. No, Jennifer says, Henlo, it's how you say hello to a bird or other cute creature of awesomeness. That's amazing. See, sometimes you learn new things every day. So here's what you'll have on your starting file. You should have an artboard and you should have a little card that's been built out. we're necessarily going to use the card, we may or may not, but it's a starting point. I just threw that out there. But what you won't have is probably some icons and these cute little illustrations that I scored from Adobe stock that I'm going to be using. So you might not have those things, but it's okay. You do your own thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. What I've done so far on my screen, if I pull up my prototype, is I've actually created a component, you can see right over here, out of a few elements. I have a little metal component and I have a navigation bar component, and each of those have component states that allow us to create some fun micro interactions. For instance, my little navigation is literally one state that's been wired up so that you can navigate back and forth, and it's a working component with multiple states. If you don't know how I did that, I literally just clicked on my component right over here in my my layers panel, and then I created the new states. Each state is wired up. You'll see that right down here. It's wired up to go right back to the other states, the other actions or whatever. And I just animated things back and forth. It's cool. It's a self-contained little navigation. And if you're wondering how you would use that, well, if you wanted to go over to a new portion, let's say, you would just, a new screen, you would just go to a different state, and now I could wire this from here to there, and all is well. But we can also just go back and forth and demo the whole thing, which is pretty cool. So let's create a little bit of an exercise application, shall we? I think we should, I don't usually do this, but I'm just gonna give my background like a very light gray, and I'm actually going to come back into my nav bar, and I want to change the fill of this to actually be white. Let's do that. And I think we're gonna have to, we shouldn't have to go through it. That's gonna change it on all states. So we have this nice white nav bar and this off gray kind of background. The reason I'm gonna do that is because I plan on doing, which we're gonna start doing right now, shall we? I plan on doing some cards, and these cards I want to have contrast, and even if it's just white on a little bit of an off gray or just a very light background, it already pops a little bit. And that's a really easy way for me to just kind of stand things out. If you know you're gonna do a card-based interface like this, it's a good idea. You don't have to, but you can. Example, I could just drag this entire card here and you can see how the whole thing already pops, right? Okay, so let's go back. Let's undo what we did so we get our little rectangle. Let's just round the corners a little bit and give it a slight background. Ooh, excuse me, not background blur, but shadow. And shadows are tricky. I'm gonna bring that shadow down and just make it really, really light. Let's zoom in on what we're working on here. A lot of people ask about shadows and how do you make your shadows look good? It's an interesting question. And I think there's like some real hard answers to how you do that. The first thing is, number one, shadows need to be subtle always. I think most people when they're first starting out in design, the shadows are always way too hard, right? So they're always like really intense like this. And if you're wondering how you make your interfaces look a little bit more refined, a little bit more elegant, one of the things I would recommend to you is start dropping shadows down below 8%. See, this shadow's at 6, it still looks a little too hard to me. So I'm gonna drop it down to like a 4, and then you can play with the blur and the size of that shadow, give it a little bit more offset on the Y interface. That's one way you can do it. You wanna get even more mature, you can create your own custom shadows. The way that I would do that is by creating an ellipse, like so, stretching it out, taking the border off and filling this with black, and then I'm gonna add an object blur to it. So just blur it out and make sure that it's behind my card. And then I just want to bring the opacity to this thing down. Now I have complete control over that element and that element's shadow. So I can make that shadow really, really big and make it seem like it's right, almost like it has a bow. It's a little bit of an optical illusion there. Or I can bring it down and make it, really far down this way. That'd be a little bit intense. Make it really far that way. So creating custom shadows, in my opinion, is kind of like that next step to how you get like really, really beautiful, like kind of refined, custom controlled shadows. That's just, I don't know, a little something to play with. So I'm gonna keep that custom shadow. I'm gonna bring this down. I'm gonna grab both of these things and I'm gonna bring them together in a component. And I'm gonna come into my component menu and just call this card, okay? All right, so My present manager is death on shadows, which is sad because I kind of like how they make things stand out. I'm a big fan of shadows still. I just think they should be light. They should be chill. They should be very, you know, calm down. So you could go no shadows at all if you want. I'm still into some shadows. All right, so that being said, let's do this. Let's bring our card over an instance. You know, it's an instance in Adobe XD because it has that little white triangle instead of the master filled in green triangle. And I'm just gonna manipulate this instance to make it kind of like a smaller card. Let's bring that up like maybe 15 pixels away. And let's bring another instance of this card 15 pixels. And let's make kind of like a masonry grid of cards. It could be. Now what's really cool is I've rearranged these cards. I've messed with them, the size and everything. I can still come back into the master and play with my shadows, and they should be somewhat proportionate. I'm just going to bring them down a little bit more, even maybe even down to like 4 pixels. It's going to be really, really chill. They just kind of stand out a little bit, not that much, right? Okay, great. I think we should also, for exercise, we should create some headings. So I'm going to take my heading that I have over here. I'm using Sophia Pro today. I kind of like this color, but again, I want my interface to be a little bit more minimal, and I don't want to overuse my accent colors. So this might have been a mistake. It could be good. I'm not really sure. Let's do this. I'm going to bring in a component that I have called my metal. Okay. Ooh, where'd you go there, friend? Yikes. Let's go back to our metal layer there. Let's bring it up. And I have 2 states on this. I have a default state and I have a little filled state. We're going to be having some fun with that as we go. Okay, so maybe we'll play with this right now. Maybe we'll leave this for later. Maybe actually it'd be more exciting to bring in some of our little illustrations. These are super fun illustrations. When I downloaded them from Adobe stock, they literally came in Illustrator form. I opened them up in Illustrator and I was able to just like basically copy and paste them because of that awesome integration with the whole Adobe Creative Suite, Creative Cloud. I just popped them right in, and that was like a really nice thing. So that being said, let's put our little illustration right there. Let's bring this down and just starting to create some hierarchy of typography here. Let's do the first one. Like this will say training. Underneath it, we can have like a number, like how about 6 35. Okay, I think this probably needs to be much smaller, and let's take it down from bold to medium to regular, and let's go with kind of a nice gray color. We want to create contrast between typography. It's a little trick that I like to do where you just basically drop 2 weights and drop the size by half-ish. So let's make this a little bit bigger. It needs to stand out. This is going to be nice and fun right here. And why don't we do this down below? We'll put this over here on the right hand side and we'll just say hours of training. Okay, so that could be kind of a fun little layout. It's not the end all be all of layouts, but it's kind of fun. Let's put it right here, and then let's create some sort of little chart just for fun here. Okay, so right on our card, put that right there. Let's do, actually, why don't we take our number? I like what's happening with our number. That style. Let's make it a little smaller and do like we're trying to hit like a percentage, let's say. Okay, I'm going to do a really simple little chart, something like an ellipse. Okay, a white ellipse. I'm going to center it with my text there, my number. I'm going to do another ellipse and make it bigger. I'm going to bring it to the back. I'm going to find one of my colors, something like that. Okay, and then let's do one more. I want to bring that in. It's a little too far. One more. I'm going to bring it to the back. And I'm going to make this my darker color like that. Or maybe let's play with some accents here. That could be fun. That's kind of nice. That could be nice. Maybe lighter. Ooh, I like lighter. That's fun. Okay, we're just playing right now. We're literally just exploring, having fun. I'm going to take all these and group them together and call them graph. We probably want to take a little chunk out of that graph, right? So I'm going to take my pen tool. I'll do a little customization here. I'm going to come out and make just a little custom shape. I could have just drawn, totally could have just drawn a rectangle. Absolutely. I'm just going to take the outer circle and my little thing right there. Oh, I need to make sure, oh, watch out now, my path. And I just want to subtract it. Okay, so now we have, I just subtracted that shape and just kind of stamped it out of there. Now we know we're 75% of the way. Let's take this, just maybe line it up a little bit. And I don't know, we could play with that some more, but let's group all of these elements together, okay? And we'll call this card 1. So far, so good. Let's see, Startup Santana. Any other good websites for illustrations other than Adobe? Adobe is anyway well known. You could use what is Undraw. Let me look it up for you right now. Undraw.co is illustrations. Undraw.co/illustrations. And these are all free. You can customize them with like the different color that you want. You can download each one of them and they come in SVG format, I believe. So you're able to just pull any of those out and use them like that. So that's a resource for you if you want it. Okay, let's just duplicate a little bit of what we've done. Let's take the chart and this, just move it in. We're just creating a couple charts first. Doesn't have to be super intense. Doesn't have to be really exact. We're just playing. We're going to get to some prototyping type stuff here in a little bit. So let's create something like that. Let's make this 50%. And we can edit this by just taking our shape, whoop, and doing it however we want. Actually, maybe we'll do it this way. Boom, that's only 50%, right? Great. So let's say we'll call this one, why don't we call this one total training. Total training in hours. My profile. Okay, that's pretty cool. Actually, let's do this week. It shouldn't say my profile. It should say this week we have a total training of 6 hours and 35 minutes of training. And then we want to do, let's do goals. And we can get rid of the little bottom guy and just center align this. 50% of our goals have been met. And why don't we do one more over here? Let's change it up, shall we? We'll change it up right here and just say, we're challenging friends, right? So let's say champion, or how about like winner? That's the easier way to put that. Winner, we'll put 5. And then let's bring our little thing back down, excuse me, here. 5 categories. So right now we're winning a total of 5 categories. And we can just rearrange this. Let's just center align all of those like that. And take our little typography lockup. Let's drag the text down low. Let's center everything here. And then let's bring our little metal in, boop, like so. And let's make it the filled version. Right now we are the winner of 5 categories. Cool. Now, what categories are there? I don't even think we're going to use this card. I designed it and I'm like, you know what? I don't like it. Maybe I don't want to use it at all. I'm going to take all of those, group them together. Okay. And then I'm going to say, now that we're talking about the categories, why don't we actually show the categories? Okay. Or exercises. Yeah, let's just do categories. Categories. Everybody's doing good. Everyone's doing all right over there in the chat. Talk to me. Let me know if you have any thoughts on how this design should look. I am open. I am not the end all be all of design, just a dude who likes to have fun and start live streams off with no microphone. Oh, that was good times. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Okay, let's make a little card right here and let's just really quickly do a shadow. We don't want to do a custom one. We're going to blur this thing out and just bring the opacity of it down. We just want it to just pop a little bit. We're gonna cheat on the rounded corners there. Okay, now we've brought up our category. So now this raises the question, should we go back to this being a light color? Should it be a colored navigation? Or maybe it'll just stay white and it needs a little bit of a shadow itself. That's probably the answer. Just like a really light one. Boom, like that. We're just shadowing things up today. maybe the title of this stream could be called Shadows. Working in the shadows. Okay, let's do a different kind of graph down here. Let's do a little bit of a bar chart, and then we're gonna have time today probably for like 1 or 2 little interactions. Let's bring this piece of text down here. Let's go rectangle and just soften the sides of it just a little bit. Take the border off, fill it with a nice soft color like this. I like that color. That color is fun. Let's start them all on the same plane here. And then I have a fun idea. This is going to be cool. Why don't we group those together? Command R for repeat grid. Just drag those guys out. We'll basically come into these two. Oh, what? Well, that's all right. Let's release it from the grid. I ain't got time for this right now. I gotta go. We are streaming it today. Let's do some different kind of versions of it there. That could be pretty good. And then let's do this. Let's bring in some more of these fun little illustrations. So we're just gonna go like this. Gonna bring it down. Actually, let's save ourselves some time here, shall we? Let's bring this whole thing of illustrations over. Shall we? We'll just bring it onto the artboard. How big do they need to be? About that big. Maybe like that. Cool, cool. Let's bring our jump roper right there. Let's bring our runner right there. Let's bring our, we're not going to use him. Let's delete that little boxer. Let's put aerobicize right there and weightlifting right there. Now I'm thinking maybe these could be a different color because that's blending a little bit too much, right? Any of those are kind of blending too much. So we could do it really subtle, or we could be a little bit more bold about it. What do you guys like? Subtle? Do you like bold? Ah, that's the answer. Take it and chill it out. You know what we should have done was zoomed in, snagged this color to try to stay consistent, right? And then we should make all of these that same exact color, because that's what's up. Bring in some consistency and color. That's nice. Look at that. Okay, we'll just title this jump rope. Let's do running. Let's do weights. And here we'll do aerobics. I'm probably spelling that wrong. Oh, I spelled it right. I'm very, very surprised. Okay, I'm gonna grab all those elements. I'm gonna group them together and make sure it's in the back behind my navigation. Okay, so far so good. Let's just move this guy up. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we have a couple minutes left. I don't have an awful lot of time to actually finish what I was gonna do, but let's at least get one kind of interaction, shall we? And let's do this. Let's move this over. Whoa, let's duplicate it. Here we go. We've made a duplication of that guy. Actually, let's do this first. We're gonna group these together and call this, ooh, let's group it together, move it to the back here. Call this stats, okay? And then we're gonna call this card. That could work. So let's do that. Let's go stats. I'm gonna add my card like this onto my artboard, shall we? We shall. And let's just repeat grid a bunch more of these guys. And why don't we group these together as well? I'm gonna group them together, and here's why I'm gonna group them together, because I'm gonna bring this way out, and it's just one group like so. All right, now what's gonna happen is we gotta make sure that that's behind our navigation, and we're gonna drag this over. We're gonna take this whole thing and drag this into place, and then we can even drag the card up a little bit. That'll be, I think, like a pretty fun interaction. And then we just want to come over here and go to exercise state 2, right? Why don't we bring our card all the way up like so. So now when we're prototyping, we should be able to go up to our prototype tab, and we should be, actually, let's do a swipe here. Let's do a drag gesture over to our second guy. And we're going to drag over, and why don't we do a little snap there, okay? And why don't we drag back, same thing. Now we should be able to prototype back and forth between the two. Ooh, I hate how that, I don't like how it comes up at all. So we would have to just fix that a little bit. But that's what we got for the day. So play with some prototyping, play with some states, have some fun, figure out or spend the time creating some components and actually linking everything together. Like, I actually didn't have time to, I'm sorry, but could be a lot of fun. And that's it for the day, because we need to now take the time and look at a little bit of just some submissions here in Discord and see the work that you guys have been doing on this challenge. I want to look at this. Andreas has posted a little something, a little interaction. Let's check it out. Got a little timed animation happening there. Ooh, our onboarding looks so good. That's really fun when you use those timed interactions like that, the back and forth. So it has this constant pulsing and animating, and then you can just animate from either one of those two artboards that it's going back and forth. That looked great. Great work there. Day 4, an illustration. Let's see. Oh, we got our video chat, our recipe app, smartwatch messages, and this one is absolutely beautiful. This was the one where let me see, let's click the prototype, where people got to do photo filters. Excuse me, I'm not even thinking today, but let's look. I'm gonna click up. Oh, that looks really good. Looks really nice. And we have our options to, oh, they're hidden off the screen just a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. But pretty cool work. Really, really nice, really clean looking. Let's go back and look at 1 or 2 more. I like these little interaction or animation videos. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice little splash screen. It comes in really, really nice. These are some, I know these illustrations are straight from Undraw. So this is a great example. Those of you that were looking for free illustrations, this person's using them, look super legit. They were just tweaked and customized color-wise to match the project that they were working on. These look fantastic. Great job, everybody. Keep working on your challenges. Make sure you submit them to Behance, drop them inside of the Discord channel. That way we can look at your work tomorrow right here on the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I've been your host, Jesse Showalter, and I'll be here for Wednesday. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday, and grab a snack, use the restroom, stick around, because we have some more great content coming for you right here on Behance. We will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.